CTV National News correspondent Heather Wright joins us live this morning from Jerusalem. Heather, certainly so much focus has been on Gaza, but also talk to us what the situation is in the West Bank as well.
Well, Nick, we've been spending the day here in Jerusalem, in East Jerusalem, speaking with people. We just spoke with a Palestinian man, talking to him a little bit about how things have changed in the past 2 weeks. Already, there were restrictions on movement within the West Bank, in and out into certain parts of Israel. But he was saying that in the last 2 weeks, it really has gotten even tighter. There have been new blockades that have been put up within the West Bank. And he's talking about just the fear so many people have inside. There are demonstrations that are going on that you can see are turning violent. He's talking about, some of the raids that are happening where there's a genuine fear for his family, his neighbors, and also, anxiety and uncertainty about what happens next. In the occupied West Bank since October 7th, at least 91 people have been killed, whether it's in, crackdowns and demonstrations or targeted raids. There was a missile attack by Israel officials over the weekend that they targeted a mosque where they say that militants were organizing. And so there are growing fears that this war that is taking place in Gaza against Hamas could potentially find another front in the West Bank or further north along the border with Lebanon.
Yeah, of course, the worry is, whether or not this war is going to escalate beyond the borders that we see right now. And Heather, if you can talk about the humanitarian situation, there have been many groups, certain governments calling for Israel to turn the water and the electricity back on to address what's happening in Gaza. And yet we have this impending ground offensive. What's the situation there?
Well, the good news over the weekend is that aid finally did start to arrive. We had been talking about this for so long. There had been so many false starts with getting the Rafah crossing open. And so some trucks did get in over the weekend. A very small amount, a trickle is what it's being described of as in terms of how much really is needed in order to address the very vital and emergency situation that's happening in Gaza right now. But there are also growing calls for some sort of a ceasefire and the creation of safe zones within the south, places that people can go and find some sort of shelter, that they can get food and water and medicine, but also that they know that they can be safe from Israeli airstrikes, because that is an ongoing concern. Israel is adamant that they are only targeting Hamas targets within Gaza, but a lot of those are also, within civilian population. We saw over the weekend a marketplace was hit, a mosque was hit. Innocent people are being killed. The death toll, I think, is nearing 5,000 now. And so there are growing concerns from the outside to not only have some sort of a ceasefire, some sort of creation of a safe zone or a humanitarian corridor, but also for Israel to perhaps slow down on this impending ground invasion, to maybe work to look and locate those hostages, because there are concerns, especially from Western countries who have their citizens who are being held hostage, about what might happen when a ground invasion begins.
Okay, yeah, that is CTV National's Heather Wright joining us live from Jerusalem this morning. Heather, appreciate the update there. Thanks so much.